Gongsanjia. It is said that there is a supervisor in Baoding who plans to go to the capital to spend money to become a county magistrate. Just as I was packing my bags to leave, I fell sick. Once he was ill, he couldn't get out of bed for more than a month. One day, suddenly the book boy came to him and reported, "There is a guest outside." As soon as he heard that there was a guest, he forgot about his illness and went out to greet him. As soon as he went out, he saw that the visitor was dressed in luxurious clothes and looked like a noble person, so he invited the guest into the house. After the guest sat down, he asked the guest what his purpose was. The guest said, "My name is Gongsanjia, and I am a guest of the 11th prince's family. I heard that you were packing your bags to serve as a county magistrate. I think since you are ambitious, why not become a prefect? Wouldn't that be better?" The superintendent expressed his gratitude humbly and said, "I have too little money to have higher ideas." After hearing this, the guest expressed his willingness to help, paid half of the money for him, and made an appointment to have someone come to his residence to pick it up. The supervisor was very happy and asked for a recommendation. The guest said to him, "The governor and Futai are both my good friends. As long as you have 5,000 guan, the matter can be done. Now there is a shortage of places in Zhending, so we can do it quickly." The supervisor believed that Zhending was in the province. It is not good to be an official there. The guest said, "You are so stupid. As long as there is a loophole to take advantage of, it doesn't matter whether it is from the province or not." The supervisor felt uneasy and still hesitated, always suspecting that this matter was a bit ridiculous. The guest further said, "No need to doubt. I will tell you the truth. This official is a city god in the underworld who is absent. Your lifespan has expired and you have been registered as a dead person. Take this opportunity to complete the process, and you can still be prosperous and wealthy in the underworld." After saying this, he was about to say goodbye and leave. Before leaving, he told him again, "You should prepare yourself first and see you in 3 days." He got on his horse and left. The supervisor suddenly opened his eyes and thought for a while. It turned out to be a dream, but he believed that everything in the dream was true, so he said goodbye to his wife. He took out his hidden silver and bought more than 10,000 tons of paper ingots. At that time, he bought up all such things in the county. Stack paper ingots in the yard, add paper boys and girls, paper horses, paper cows and other objects. They lit a fire together and burned it day and night. The ashes were as high as a hill. On the 3rd day, the guest came indeed, and the supervisor took out the money and gave it to him to cash. The guest took the money and took him to the ministry. Seeing a noble official sitting in the hall, the supervisor knelt down and worshipped His Highness. After briefly asking about his name, the noble official encouraged him to be an upright official and gave him a letter of appointment. The supervisor kowtowed and thanked him and laughed. The Jiansheng became the prefect, and he thought that he was born as a Jiansheng and had a humble status. If he didn't have a large team of carriages and horses, and he didn't have good clothes to show off, it wouldn't be enough to impress his subordinates. So he bought a good carriage and horse, and sent a ghost servant to bring his concubine in a float. As soon as all the preparations were completed, the honor guard of Zhending County came to pick him up. He followed the honor guard, and people cheered along the way. He was very proud of himself. The large group of people were walking when suddenly the drum music leading the way stopped. The flag was also lowered. When he was surprised and questioning, he saw that the people on horseback in front of him had all dismounted and knelt down on the roadside together. They gradually shrank in size, with the people shrinking to 1 foot tall and the horses shrinking to the size of a cat. The person in front of his car reported, "Guandi God is here." When the supervisor heard this, he was also frightened and hurriedly got out of the car and knelt on the ground. Looking up, he saw Emperor Guan riding a big horse from a distance, followed by 4 or 5 mounts, slowly walking towards him. The god has a beard, which is not like the portraits painted on earth. However, it is majestic in appearance, with 2 very long eyes that reach to the ears. Emperor Guan walked in and asked, "What kind of official is this?" The attendant replied, "Prefect Zhending." Emperor Guan said, You are a small prefect. How can he be so majestic?" After hearing this, the prison guard was so frightened that his hair stood on end. It shrank a lot. He looked at himself like a 6 or 7-year-old child. Emperor Guan asked him to get up and follow the horse together. After walking for a short time, there was a palace beside the road. Emperor Guan dismounted and entered the palace and sat down facing south. Order someone to take paper and pen to the supervisor, and first ask him to write down his place of origin and name. After the supervisor finished writing and submitted it, Emperor Guan was very angry and said to him, "Look at the many typos you wrote, and the handwriting is not straight. You are really a Philistine. How can you be a civil official?" He also ordered someone to check his in the Di Xinglu. A man knelt down to play, but nothing was heard. Emperor Guan said sternly, "Your crime of speculating in the camp is a small crime, but your crime of buying a title to seek an official position is too big." So the golden armored gods took the chains and went out, and 2 other little gods caught the prisoner and took them off. He took off his official uniform, took off his official hat, pushed him to the ground and beat him 50 times until the meat on his buttocks almost fell off. Finally kicked him out. After the supervisor went out, he looked around and saw that there were no carriages and horses. He felt that his whole body was so painful that he could not walk, so he lay down in the grass to rest. After carefully checking the surroundings, this place is not far from home. Fortunately, I feel that my body is very light, so light that I feel like a leaf when I walk. He walked for a day and a night before arriving home. Suddenly it felt like a dream. When I opened my eyes, I was still lying on the bed moaning. The whole family came to ask him, but he said nothing and kept complaining that his butt hurt. Before that, he had been keeping his eyes closed, as if dead, for 7 days. Only now did he understand everything, and asked his family, why didn't Alyan come? It turned out that Alyan was his concubine's nickname. First, one day, Alyan was talking to someone and suddenly said, "My husband has become the governor of Zhending and sent someone to pick me up." After that, he went into the house to dress up and died after dressing up. This happened only overnight. After the family members finished speaking, they thought it was strange, but the supervisor understood it completely. There is only regret. He asked people to keep Alyan's body instead of burying it until she regained consciousness. But he waited for several days and still didn't recover before burying her. Jiansheng's illness gradually improved, but the sores on his buttocks got worse. It took half a year before he could get up and walk. He often said to people, "I have lost my official position and money, and I am also subject to the punishment of the underworld. I can bear these things, but what I can't bear is that my beloved concubine has gone somewhere, and I don't know how to spend my time at night."
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.